very much. Yeah, it's an opportunity and a privilege to be here tonight. Please pardon me. Yeah, have been running just back and forth the last 1 week just to get a few things done as we're looking forward to launching one of our newest estates next week Tuesday. So I'm just not even properly kept, just working. In fact, I think Kings had to just plead that I almost escaped my class today. I was trying to say that I'm not ready for it, but somehow I said, let me just have a small time with us here. And at least because I'm excited with the energy in the house already, I've received reports of how the academy has been going very well. And yesterday, my GMD had a session, so it was so impactful ahead. And then we look forward to have a brief moment with you today. And I wish us the best going forward. So you pardon me, the class might be also very brief, but I believe you pick one or two things. So we'll be doing quite a few discussions this evening, and we have our legal person, our company legal personnel, Barrister Saudat. I think she's also connected here. Yeah, she'll be coming in at some point to shed more light on some legal document that we need to understand how it works, how we do our search, and other things that concerns land title. All right. Thank you. Well, I believe we've received several classes and sessions about real estate, and real estate is actually a very lucrative business. It is not a get rich quick scheme, but it is a get rich sure scheme. Yeah, we cannot say it's quick, but we can only say it is sure. Yeah, but the moment it becomes sure, it begins to flow like rain. Yeah, it's a very powerful industry, and of course, it is also a challenging industry. But of course, it's worth it when you receive the first. I don't know if you have received commission from a real estate transaction. Please type in the comment section. I'm a very interactive person. Yeah, I've been coaching in the last 7 years. So that's what I've been doing. So if you have received commission, if you've ever sold a property and you've received commission, please type in the comment section. Yes. Your first commission. Tell me how it was. How did you feel? Yes. Your first commission. Just type there. How did you feel? Yes. Fiona said so. Yes. I can see. Who's this? Okay. IK said I have. Yes. I've seen Gwalia said me. All right. Yes. IK said sweet feeling. Ah, it's very sweet feeling. Sweet feeling. One commission you receive in real estate, you feel like going to go and quit your job and just tell yourself, "We die here." Yeah. So it's actually that's very lucrative. Yeah, it's a very good industry. Yeah, not without challenges. Yeah, but by the way, we're talking with somebody this afternoon, and they were talking about the real estate industry and its challenges, all of that. And the person said, "Sir, which industry does not have challenge? Anywhere there's money, there's challenge. So it's a normal thing. But whoever can wither the storm and take it headlong, you get it? That's it. Yeah. So, of course, yes, we have. My first commission was 50,000 naira. Oh, Sonny James, that's good. 50,000 naira, that's good. Yeah. My first commission was 200,000. I remember the 200,000. It was so nice. So nice. That was many years ago. Yes, I just did one transaction as a middleman and I just got 200K. I said, just like that? Interesting. So I believe you've heard so much about that. So today I will be sharing with you on how to identify a good property, and that's location, the title, and of course, the process of that property. Then, of course, we'll also be looking at the red flags to watch out for in identifying good property. So these two topics will be coming in together, interwoven. Then I will just share a few principles for investment, to invest in real estate, things to look out for, the principles of investment. I'll do that briefly. Yeah. So when you want to look for a property, yeah, I want to say this clearly. There's something I wrote here I want to check. Yeah. when you are looking for a good property, yeah, there's a statement here that I don't want to miss out. I don't want to miss it out because I feel it's very, very important. Yeah. So one of the things you should look out for, number one, is buy where people are going, not just where they are. That's how to identify a good property. Buy in terms of location. Buy where people are going, not just where they are. There's a whole lot to talk about location. Yeah, there are different kinds of location. There are different kinds of real estate. I believe probably maybe one of the speakers must have said that before. There are different kinds of real estate, and it depends on, because real estate has about eight or more arms of it. So it depends on the one you want to look into, based on your capacity, based on your interest, and based on your leverage. So there are different kinds, yeah. So of course, I believe most of you must have been familiar with the word land banking. It's a common statement in the real estate industry: land banking, land banking, land banking. Yeah. So people buy properties, land for land banking. There's also called buy and build, what you call buy to build to sell. There's what we call what again? Different kinds of, yeah, for investment purposes. Yeah. So most time land banking are just for investment purposes. You just get, yeah, you just look at a location that is very, very far. By the way, you should just understand, as far as real estate is concerned, there is no far location. Yes, because just before you finish saying it is far, it's already been occupied. For example, look at Abuja now. Yeah, for those who are in Abuja, I understand the landscape of Abuja. Yes, where is Centenary City? It's far. Centenary City is far, but people are buying already, and people are not living there yet. But people are already buying. That's land banking. Yeah, and also because they saw that that's the next phase. Know where the city is going to, know where the city is transitioning to or expanding to. That is where you're going to pay attention to. That is why I say real estate is not a get rich quick stuff. Yeah. If you want to get money fast in real estate, then you should have enough money to buy in prime locations in the heart of the city, so that you can just buy it today and probably in 2-3 months time you sell and you are fine, you make your money. But if you're a middle income and you're an average income and you want to multiply your resources, you want to invest properly, you should be able to identify a location where the city is expanding to. When you get that location, then you can begin to make your investment in that direction. So you identify places where people are going, not just where people are. Yeah, that's how to get a good location. Yeah, and of course, number two, yeah, identify where there's a government plan. Yes, what are the government plan? For example, you will just, if you know that the government announces 2,000 housing, for example, now very soon the government will be launching about 1,200 hectares mass housing around Asokoro. Hopefully the project is coming up in the month of May. So those who are wise enough can quickly begin to key in to such kinds of projects. And before you know it, you buy it at a very affordable price. Then very soon, as prices appreciate, you are fine. You're smiling home. So these are some of the things you need to look out when identifying a location of such. Then, of course, you should also get locations where there are a lot of commercial activities. For example, when university is situated there, industries are situated there, all those places are places you can speak, that speaks to your investment, can be able to buy in such locations, because those institutions makes it that it can never be wrong in your investment. I'll give you an example. When Dangote was building his refinery at Ibejuleki, Lagos, of course, that is a bush, like seriously bush. One of my mentors, Dr. Stephen Akintayo, was telling us in the class, he said he went there because he just had the announcement that Dangote is pitching the refinery around there. This man went and bought endless hectares in that place. Now the refinery is up and running, and guess what? He has built houses there. He has sold land there. He has made massive gain in that place. So identify, you want to do real estate, you should be very close to news. Understand the trends of your industry. What is happening in those locations? What's happening in Abuja? Understand location. How is the movement going? How is rentals going? All of those things are very, very important. There are those who are into rentals. All forms of real estate, commercial, rentals, all of those things. Short lets, apartment is another form of real estate, but that one is considered under cash flow real estate, the one that brings money for you quickly, which is very important. As you grow in your real estate business, you must be able to have cash flow because cash is king in this business. So of course, you should be able to look at locations. You look at locations that, that already, and also to add to that, find places where developers are going. For example, now if you look at now, a lot of developers now are having a project around Hutu, around Lube side. So more developers are going there now, and they speak to the place. Because let me tell you something about real estate. You see this pricing thing. This, when you hear that this place is turning into this price in the next 3 months, it will appreciate all of that. Have you ever sat down to ask yourself question, who determines price? Who actually determines price in real estate? Let me tell you something. Primarily, the people that determine price in a location, the people that go there to, the first developers that invade that place. They will go there, they will clear the place and put their price. And that becomes the price of that place. Even older lands that have been lying down there for many years never had that worth. The moment developers go there, now if you go to Lube now, all this Accor, Lube, now because of the launch of the Hutu project there, more developers are there now. Now the price of land in that place is already rising. So imagine somebody had bought that place probably when it was a land now, I think 150 square meter now is selling for about 6.5 million in that hinter locations of Hutu. Yeah. Now imagine somebody bought land there when it was not even that much announced. Now developers are there now. Of course, you're already in profit. And before the year runs out now, it will almost be times 200% profit of that location. So also where developers are going, launching projects is also a very good place to identify and get land. So now when we talk about, that's a little bit about the locations for land. There's so much about that because this class is just quite brief. Yeah, when we're doing real estate discussion, it's going to be a very lengthy one. There's so much to say about that. But I want to just give my barrister the opportunity to speak around land titles, the things to look out for. Land titles you must be accustomed to when you are buying property or you are talking to somebody about property. You should understand land title. Let me tell you something about investment in real estate. Yeah, when they tell you about land, the first thing you should ask is a title, not even the location, not even the property itself. Title first, because real estate is not like selling donuts. You can go and buy donuts probably in the night. You are tired. You are a bachelor, you just finish work and you are just returning back home out of tiredness. You just stop by and just pack like 5 donuts and you come home to come and just take your tea and sleep. Just on arriving home, then you now realize that the donut is spoiled. Yeah, you'll be angry because of course you cannot go out again and start looking for where to get food. Yeah, but you see, that anger is not an expensive anger. It's a simple anger. Yeah, the one that is more expensive is that you bought a property and you return back home and you realize that you never had a property. Because real estate is expensive. It's an expensive industry. Yes, yeah, that is why the industry thrives more on trust. As you progress in real estate, one of the things to build is credibility. Yes, because of every other product, when you go to buy it, you pay the money, they take the money and you take your product and you walk away. For real estate, You pay for the land and you leave the land with us. That's a high level of trust. You pay for the land and you leave the land because you cannot carry the land. You leave the land with us and they give you documents and you go. Only to come back the next day to come and check your land. Then you see that a new person has occupied the place and you cannot collect the land. So that is why the industry thrives more on trust, on credibility. More importantly, credibility. Credibility means that whatever you give to us, we can bank on it. That is why your greatest strength is on the document. So anywhere you hear real estate, you hear property, the first thing you should pay attention to, ask them, what is the title of the property? What is the title of the land? It's very, very important. Or else what you hear, you will not like it. So at this point, I want to hand over to Barrister Saudat. She'll walk us through briefly on title documents, land titles. You should be accustomed to land titles and the legal matters around this thing and what works best that keeps you safe. So when she does that, I will return again briefly, then I'll walk you through some of the red flags you should avoid when buying property and also a few investment principles that will guide our real estate journey. Thank you. Barrister Saudat, are you there on the call? So confirm if Barrister Saudat is on the call. Kings, confirm if she's on the call. Barrister, if you're there, you can unmute.
If she's online, she can just.
Apologies for that. I think Barrister is having some network glitch, but she will join. So while she joins, I think I will have to move quickly to talk about the. Let me see. I'm coming. So I will talk about quickly some of the red flags we should avoid when buying properties. Yes. So while I do that quickly, Barrister will join. And once she joins, I will just hand over to her to just continue from there. Yeah. So one of it is when a land has no proper title document, it's a red flag. When you ask sellers to provide you the title document of your land and they cannot provide, it's a red flag. There's nothing to even cite. You can't even cite any document. They'll be telling you, don't worry, it will be, please and please, don't send money until you can cite a document. Don't pay money until you can cite a document. And even you, if you are an agent, you are selling for a company, please ensure you have what you call product knowledge and the documentation, if possible, cited, because it's important and it will help you to be able to sell properly and to educate your client accordingly. So it's important. So when a land has no proper document, please and please, this is a red flag. Yes. Number two, when a property is too good to be true, when the prices are too good to be true, it's a red flag. Let me tell you something. Anywhere, any day, real estate is not a poor man's business. Sincerely speaking. So don't expect it cheap. You can buy it cheap when you are taking advantage of companies pre-sale, off-plan, all of that. But on the average, real estate is an expensive business, but it's very lucrative. So by the way, when we say something is cheap or expensive, it's actually relative. It depends on who is buying. Yes. I said sometimes I said nothing is expensive. That's the price. It's just a matter of knowing whether you can afford it or not. So when a property is too good to be true, yes, it's a red flag. Also, when there's pressure to pay quickly, check it. Check it. Of course, there are some offers that are limited with time. They can give you a timeline, pay between now and this time. If you don't pay, offer elapses, which is fine. But on the average, when pressure is too much, please take note, because ensure that you are in charge. Someone said, when you're not in charge, don't be part of the transaction. Yeah, no manipulation. So these are things we should check. And also, when you are buying real estate from agents, confirm, are these agents registered with the company? Are they registered with the company? Because a lot of shady things are happening in the real estate industry. Confirm, are they registered with the company? Because we have unregistered agents just moving about, swindling people. Until you do transfer, that's when the number will stop going. So check it. Agents must be attached to a company, registered with the company. If not, it's a red flag. You must be sure of. Of course, we should also ensure if there are no litigation warnings on those sites. There are some. When you go to a property, either a house you are buying or a land you are buying, check around. Don't just check land, check close by, check the fence, all those things. You might see some write-ups there. Probably they are still in court. Maybe there are cases already on the land. All these things, you check it before you can be sure. Let me tell you what we do in our company. In fact, sometimes what we do, they are what we call registering of ourselves on the property. Yes, we'll go and find a land and we're interested in that land, we want to do business, we meet the owners, we finish everything. Yes, before we pay the money, sometimes we request, please, we want to invite our bulldozer to just come and just do some small clearing. They say, why? Do you have to? I say, yeah, no, don't worry, I just want to invite our bulldozer. Because the moment land clearing starts, other owners of similar capacity like you will also show up and say, who is on my land? So that's how you know that if there are encumbrances or if there are issues around the land, you all know. So one of the things to be able to check out for is to see if there are no any litigation or warning signs written on that property. Things like keep off, this land is not for sale. All those things, contact this number, no agent should come here. All those, check all the signs around that place. It will also give you some heads up on that regard. So Barry Saudat, are you online? I can see Saudat is online. Saudat, can you unmute?
Saudat.
Is she off? Okay. Once she's stable, let me just continue. Once she's stable, she can be able to join us. So some of the red flags about such things. Yes, and of course, one of the red flags you watch out for is when a transaction is done without any receipt or purchase agreement. There should be receipt, there should be purchase agreement written. I really wish Saudat is on this call because she's got a lot to share on issues around the documentation, the kinds of documents you should watch out for, because we have different kinds of documents. We have FCDA, we have RFO, we have letter of intent, we have a whole lot of, we have CFO, a whole lot of documents around land titles, deeds of assignment, all of those things. Court judgment, all these are different kinds of documents that you can be able to use. Then, very briefly, I don't want to waste time. Very briefly, we'll come to the investment part, what are the principles for good investments that you can always leverage on, yes, when you are doing investment. So investment principle, number one, as I've said earlier, always verify title document before making any financial commitment. Why is this so? In Nigeria, owning a land without a right documentation is risky. Prioritize properties with a C of O or FCDA. Prioritize properties with C of O and FCDA. Saudat, are you there?
I'm with you, sir.
Okay.
MD,
So
sir,
let me
I'm
just
with
quickly
you.
run through this thing. Okay, that's fine. So let me run through this quickly in 5 minutes, then I'll let you continue.
Okay, that's fine, sir.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm just running through some of the principles that works for investment in real estate. And number one, I said that we should always verify the document before making financial commitments. Yes. And of course, number two is what I mentioned in the beginning, and I want to repeat it. Number two is buy where people are going and not just where they are. Yes. That's one best way to make investment. You should buy it where people are going. And of course, one of the principles again is due diligence is a must. Do your due diligence. My mentor said to me something. He said, you can never have enough of due diligence. Yes, at any time you don't feel confident about your transaction, please pause and do your due diligence. It's very important. Yes. And of course, another principle of investment is buy and hold for capital appreciation. Buy and hold. Buy and hold. I bought a property around Idu about 2-3 years ago. I bought it at 1.7. I bought it at 1.7 million. 1.7 million. I think that's 150 square meters. 1.7 million. And in 9 months' time, the property was going for about 4 million in 9 months. And that was almost nearly 200%. Nearly 200% in 9 months' time. Yeah. So this is something that really does to you. Yeah, you buy and hold. Yes. And now the property is going for almost 6 million. I bought it 1.7. So sometimes that's one way to make this. Yeah. When companies are doing their pre-sale, buy. When companies are doing off-plan, buy. When companies are doing pre-launch, buy. This is one of the best ways to do real estate. Buy it cheap and hold. Later sell it when it appreciates. And of course, one of the principles again is, I wrote here, invest in what you understand. And this principle applies to all kinds of investment. Different, apart from real estate, all kinds, invest in what you understand. If you don't have proper understanding, find someone that have understanding that you trust. For example, there are several kinds of investment that I have done. Truly speaking, I don't have in-depth knowledge, but I have a lot of mentees who are very sound in those things. So I make investment through my trust in them. But the best model works with invest in what you understand. Yeah, because sometimes some investment are a bit technical, and I understand you may not understand everything about it, but invest in what you understand is the principle and is the model that works. So when you are buying land, especially for real estate, it's not too technical. Not too technical. Just invest in what you understand. Sir, what do you have? Okay, we have properties. Where and where? Our properties are in Lugbe, our properties are in Idu, our properties are in Life Camp. Okay, Life Camp. Okay. So what is the title document? Okay, it's FCDA approved. Excellent. Can I cite it? Oh, that's fine. This is okay, it's this and this. Just basic knowledge. And also learn to give it to your lawyers, to your legal people, or someone who is very much experienced in the industry to just vet those documents for you. Very important. Yeah, I also wrote here that you should work with verified developers and agents. Please, work with verified developers and agents. It's very, very important so that you don't put your hands in the wrong, or don't put yourself in the wrong hands. Yes. And of course, please always negotiate. Negotiate. Yes. When you see an opportunity to invest, negotiate. You never can tell how much you can get from negotiation. Negotiate. And of course, think long term. Investment is not for now. Think long time. Think long time. It's very important. Yes. Yeah, there are things that some of you are making money and you don't even know that if you can just discipline yourself enough, you can walk up to some real estate companies and say, okay, I have a friendly budget of 500,000. Yes, is there something I can work around with? Or 1 million naira? Of course, it might be difficult to have exactly of that, but there are some companies that probably receive investment. They may not be able to buy, the money cannot be able to buy you property, but they can take your money as investment, probably pay you with a percentage after a period of time. So from there now, when it's time for them to pay you, you can say, don't pay me, convert it to a land. Even if it's 150 square meters, let me start with. I'll pay the remaining balance. So there are different methods you can do that. Just ensure that you invest, even if it's small amount of money, that appreciates over a long period of time. Think long time. Yeah, think legacy. Yeah, not just the now. So that's how you build wealth. Yeah. If you are building wealth just for the sake of lavishing and for the sake of stomach, I don't think you can be able to build wealth for a very long time. So you must think long term. There are things that some of you are very poor with having cash. Like me, if you leave money with me, I will spend it. I'm a spender. So I always like to quickly put my money into a project, else it will go off. So just a few notes on that. You take notes, and then I want to have, so apologies, please. I'm about to jump into another engagement in the next 5 minutes. So I want to leave Barrister to come in here now and speak about the land titles and other things that we need to verify before we buy a property or engage in a transaction or before we close a deal completely. So thank you very much. Barrister, please, over to you on this.
Okay, MD sir, thank you very much for this opportunity. I don't know if everyone can hear me.
Yeah, we can hear you,
Hello?
please.
Oh, okay,
Yes,
that's
Barrister,
fine.
I can hear you.
Okay, that's fine because my network has been acting really funny. Okay, so I would like to talk about land titles in Nigeria. So from what I have here, a land title is a legal document proving ownership or right to a specific parcel of land. As we all know, of course, the best way to prove the title over a property is by showing your land title. And what is the land title? What are the type of land title we have in Nigeria? The major type of land title we have in Nigeria are C of O and R of O. What is a C of O? A C of O is a certificate of occupancy. This is a major title issued by the government granting a person or an organization the right to occupy and use the property for a specified period of time, usually 99 years. So I believe we all know what C of O is. If you are into real estate or into property business in Nigeria, of course, one way or the other, you must have come across a C of O. So a C of O is the major title of properties in Nigeria. And I must say a C of O is the best title over a property because every other properties, every other land title for under how do I call it? Every other title are second compared to C of O. So C of O is the major land title we have here in Nigeria. So moving forward, we have a right of occupancy. A right of occupancy is similar to a C of O. However, it is a lesser title compared to a C of O. While a C of O confers full ownership and right over a property and gives you the opportunity to use it for a period of at least 99 years, a right of occupancy does not fully confer ownership over a property. It is more like an offer or a right to use a particular property for a specified period of time. And a right of occupancy can be revoked at any time by the government without compensation. So the best thing to do when you have a right of occupancy or when you are buying a property that has the title right of occupancy, it is best for you to apply or to ask the person to, is either the person who is selling to you applies for a seal in his or her name, or you take up the responsibility of applying for a seal, because a right of occupancy is not the best type, and anything can happen with the whole revocation and all going on in Abuja. I feel getting your COO is the best decision for you. So these two are the major titles we have in Nigeria. However, we have documents that confer title, not really title, but gives you the right to deal with properties in Nigeria. So some of these documents are deed of assignment, the sale of land agreement, letter of intent, letter of administration, and power of attorney. So I would like to run through this and give brief explanations on them. Under the deed of assignment, I believe we all know what a deed of assignment is, but well, I would like to say it in the legal parlance. From the legal perspective, the deed of assignment is one of the best documents that gives you rights over a property. But then, a deed of assignment is not a title. It is not the title covering the property. So once a deed of assignment has been drafted between you and the person selling to you, the best thing you should do is take your deed of assignment to the land registry, register it, and then apply for your CO. That is the best thing to do. However, having a deed of assignment is good because it gives you the right on the property, but then it is not the title over the property. You need to register it and get your title. That's the certificate. Then we have the sale of land agreement. The sale of land agreement is also, it's similar to a deed of assignment, but it's not as how do I call it? It's not as strong, as detailed as the deed of assignment. A sale of land agreement is a registrable instrument. You can't take the sale of land agreement to the land registry to register it. What the main reason for the sale of land agreement is for, it's more like the first stage of your transaction with the seller. So when you want to buy a property, you've had your agreement with the seller, and maybe you've agreed to pay certain amount of money, and then later on you pay the remaining. So all these agreements are all these terms and conditions are supposed to be captured in a document. That's why you need your sale of land agreement. So all your agreement, the amount to be paid, if you need time for inspection, when details about revocation, details about force majeure, details about where there is encumbrance on the property, all these things that you would need, all your concerns and all that you've agreed on while negotiating. You can include all this in your sale of land agreement. So this is like the first stage where all the agreement is captured. Then when everything has been settled and the whole transaction has been completed, then you move ahead to draft a deed of assignment between yourself and the person selling to you, and then you go ahead and just. I hope I'm communicating, and I hope I'm not too fast.
Yes, go on.
Oh, okay. That's a good one. So the next I have on my list here is a letter of intent. So a letter of intent is a title that is peculiar to to FCT, that's Abuja. So a letter of intent is more like a letter um, um, granting right to the holder of that title to participate in mass housing development in Abuja. So the whole idea of the mass housing development is um, to improve or to encourage massive development in the FC. So when you have the intention to participate, you as an individual, a company, a developer, you apply for the you apply for showing your intention to participate in the mass housing development, and then you'll be given a letter of intent. So usually this letter of intent is meant to last for a period of 10 years, within which if you do not develop the property within that 10 years, it will be revoked. However, there are ways to go about it. When you are not able to develop the property completely within the period of 10 years, you can apply for renewal of your letter of intent. And after the renewal, and if possibly you're able to complete the development of the property, then you can apply for your CO in your name. So this is also a title, a form of title which is peculiar to SCT. Then the next one is we have a letter of administration. So a letter of administration is a letter that is given at the court to the executors of a deceased estate. So when a person dies and his heirs want to take over the properties he has, and maybe in his will he has written down the names of those he would want to execute his will. So those particular persons he listed in his will will have the right to take that will to the court and then apply for a letter of administration, which will enable them, which will serve as a title which they have over the property to deal with that property, either to sell it, to lease it, to give it out as a form of tenancy or whatever. So this is also a title that gives one rights over a property in Nigeria. And the last on my list is the power of attorney. So I believe we've all come across the power of attorney, or we've heard of it before. So in Nigeria, basically, if you're not the original owner of a property, you cannot sell it, no matter how close you are to the person. Be it that the person is your father, your child, your wife, as long as your name is not the name on the title document, be it the CO or the deed of assignment, and you want to sell, no person who knows what he's doing or who really knows the law will allow you to sell a property to him or to her without seeing your nexus between you and the owner of the property. So most times what people do, especially in a family setting where a man is aged and he wants his kids to take over the management and billing of his properties, the best thing he can do, or when he's not ready to give them the ownership of the property yet, by transfer gifting it to them or in his will, then he can draft a power of attorney authorizing them to sell on his behalf. Not necessarily in a family setting. Even those who are not families. Take for instance someone who is very very busy and has different businesses, and he just needs someone who can manage his estates and properties. He can draft a power of attorney empowering or giving another person the right to sell his properties and deal with them in a manner in which he specified according to the specified agreement between him and the person. So this is also another kind of title. This is another title that this is another document that confers rights to the property to properties in Nigeria. However, it is not a title over the property, and a power of attorney does not transfer title in the property. It only gives the person the right to sell. That does not mean the fact that a power of attorney has been drafted between so person between Mr. A and Mr. B. That means the property of Mr. B automatically becomes the property of Mr. B. Mr. A becomes the property of Mr. B. No, the property still remains the property of the original person that gives the other person the power of attorney. However, this person only has the right to sell or to manage that property. I don't know if you guys are following. I hope I'm not confusing you. Hello.
Barrister, maybe when you are done, you should ask questions.
Okay,
No,
okay. I'm done actually. I just want to know if
When
they
you
are
are done, maybe they
following.
can
I just
ask
want to know
questions.
if they yes, okay. I just want to know if they are following and if they grab all I have said. So that is that about land title in Nigeria, the major land title we have, and how to um how to. I would also like to speak about how the necessary search you should conduct on properties before you proceed to buy a property anywhere in Nigeria. Like my MD said, rightly said, do your due diligence. And how do you do your due diligence is by conducting search. And what are the major search you should conduct on any property? Basically, we have about 4 to 5 search. The first is to conduct search at the land registry. In Abuja, we have the Abuja Geographical Information System, that's the agency. So best thing for you to do is to get the original certificate and take it to the land registry and conduct the proper search there. Then after that, the next search you should conduct is search at the court registry. So best thing to do is to engage the service of a lawyer to go to the land to the court registry to conduct proper search in the court registry, majorly the major court and major geographical division. So the best thing to do is to go to the court registries, conduct search to know if there's a pending case, there's a pending litigation on that property. Because some people can be so dubious that they know for sure that this property is a subject of litigation. This property is in court. They've been going back and forth with the owner, trying to settle this issue in court, and he's tired already and he's just looking for somebody to pass the baton of stress. And he will sell it to you at a very good price, and you go ahead and be spending and wasting both money, resources, money and time at the court every day instead of enjoying your property. Then the next search you should conduct is a physical search. You should go to the land and conduct search by yourself. Go there, look at the property, to know if there's any defect on the property. And even apart from knowing if there's a defect on the property, another reason for going there physically by yourself, and even not just going there once, consistently, like you should go there constantly and try to like have a rapport, have discussion with the neighbors, those having neighboring lands close to yours, so that you'll be able to know if there's an existing encumbrance on the property. You'll be able to know if someone else has bought the property or if someone else has been coming there to do some stuff on the land. All this you can know this by going to the property to see it, and not just see it, going there constantly and also registering your presence there, just like MB has rightly said. Then the next search you should conduct is your corporate search. That's when you're dealing with company. When you're buying from a company, it is only right for you to conduct your due diligence with the CAC to know if the company you're dealing with is genuine in the first place. So that's that about conducting due diligence and search on your property. I hope I've been able to pass on useful information, and thank you for listening. Any questions, please?
Thank you, Saudat, for that session. Yeah, I know that definitely not everything will be comprehended in just the first day. So, of course, as they keep on working, they will be interfacing with some of these challenges and some of this reality. And of course, we'll get better on it. So, thank you, everyone, for cooperating tonight. Please indicate by a raise of hand, then the moderator will allow you. Kings, please follow up on that. Any question, let's hear their question and let's give one or two perspectives to it. But if there's no any other question, then I think we are good for tonight. Thank you. Over to you, Kings.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. King, David.
Okay, so this is Mr. Larry on the line. I want to ask a question.
Oh, Mr. Larry, good evening.
Okay, thank you very much. Sorry, I have two questions for you. Thank you for the presentation. It was well taken and well understood. So my first question is that I want to ask. You mentioned about letter of intent. So is letter of intent the same thing as the right of occupancy? That's the R of O. That's number one question. So,
Sorry, can you come again? Can you come again? Is letter of
okay,
intent the same thing
it's the
as
same thing as the right of occupancy because in Abuja here we have what we call right of occupancy. I don't know.
yes?
Okay, so
I
how to
know,
be
and I made
how to,
mention of that too. But
okay,
just
maybe I
go on, ask your question, then I will answer
okay.
everything.
Okay, so secondly is that about the deed of assignment. So I want to know uh if I have a deed of assignment now and I want to transfer the ownership of that land to another person, does it mean that this person has to have he has to do another deed of assignment, or he can still be using the same deed of assignment that he has as to claim the ownership of the property? So these are the two questions that I want to have. Okay, so for example, now let's say I have a piece of land uh, and I have a deed of assignment, then I want to sell my land to several people. So that means that I have to start preparing a deed of assignment to all as everyone that has a land in that my piece of land. So I don't know if you understand what I'm trying to convey. Or did my own deed of assignment service for or covers for all the people that actually bought the land? So these are the questions I'm trying to ask. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for for your questions. They are very, very meaningful. It shows that you're following. So, um, in in answering the first question, you talked about whether the R of O is the same thing as the letter of intent. No, the R of O is very, very different from a letter of intent. Like I made mention earlier, the R of O is the right of occupancy. The right of occupancy is a right that is given to you to occupy a particular piece of land. It's given to you by the government to occupy a particular piece of land for a specified period of time. Usually, it's not even up to 99 years. It's just for a specified period of time. I think 10 to 20 years or thereabout. So usually what you're expected to do after you've been given a right of occupancy is to process the document, process the title, process your C of O. So you apply, make the necessary commitments, payment, and all that, and you apply for a C of O. Because the right of occupancy is not, I wouldn't say it's not genuine. It is genuine because it's given by the government, but it is a lesser title compared to the C of O. While a letter of intent is also given by the government, the federal government, that's FCDA, and a letter of intent is only peculiar to Abuja FCT. Every other title is every other title can be found outside Abuja and all that, except for a letter of intent. Letter of intent is peculiar to Abuja because of issue of mass housing development. So the letter of intent is given to you to participate in the mass housing development of the FCT, and it is given for a specified period of time, usually 10 years. So within that 10 years, you are expected to develop that particular, that specific portion of land that was allocated to you. And if you're unable to develop that part of the land given to you within the specified period of time, then it will be revoked. You have two options. It's either you apply for a renewal of it. That's if you're unable to build and develop the whole portion of land within that time. You apply for a renewal, or the government will revoke it. So that's the major difference between a letter of intent and a right of occupancy. As for a second question about a deed of assignment, I would like to know if you're into real estate too, because if you're selling to like individuals, not as a company, not as a real estate company, then of course you have to draft, not you now. Your lawyer, yes, or your lawyer, of course, is supposed to draft a deed of assignment for each and every person that buys from you. Your deed of assignment is not transferable to someone else. Even the C of O too. You can only give the C of O to the person after buying, for the person to take to the agent to conduct search and then also reapply. You also apply for recertification for it to be written in his or her name. So likewise, the deed of assignment is not transferable. The deed of assignment is for you and you alone. However, you can show it to others to show that okay, this is the document that transferred title to. But when you are selling to another person, either your lawyer or the lawyer of the other person of the purchaser would draft a deed of assignment between you and the purchaser. And also that deed of assignment should be registered at the land registry. That would mark or will serve as an evidence of the fact that a or the fact that title has moved from you to the next person, that's the purchase, and it applies to every other person that you have sold to. However, if you are into the real estate business, and of course we know how the real estate business works, a particular company can buy about 10, 50, 100 hectares and sell to different persons. And in that case, you can have about 1,000 purchasers. So in that instance, instead of drafting a deed of assignment for each and every person, because of course you cannot draft a deed of assignment until the purchase price has been paid completely. So when the purchase price has been paid completely by the company and the sale of agreement has already been given, instead of drafting a deed of assignment for each and every person, what they do or what we do in the real estate business is to draft a deed of partition. So a deed of partitioning is like a single document which is also registrable like the deed of assignment. But then it is bulkier, like it is bigger than a deed of assignment, and it shows it contains the name of every person that has bought bought a land with that real estate company, and his or her own portion is specified in the document, in the bulk of documents, and then the company will register that document at the land registry. So we using that document, each and every person who has bought from the company can use that document to possess their own CO in their own individual names. I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, very clear. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Any other questions, please?
Yes, my hands have been up since.
Oh, okay. Please go on. Go on. Sorry.
Good evening, ma. I understand everything you took out time to explain. I appreciate it. Was very explicit and understandable, but I have a little bit of question between what's the difference now between sales agreement and deed of assignment?
Okay. So the
Can you hear
major
me?
difference. Yes, I can hear you. Okay. So the major difference between a sale of land agreement and a deed of assignment is the fact that a sale of land agreement is not as detailed and is not a registrable instrument. A sale of land agreement is like the introductory part of your sale of your sale of land transaction with whoever it is you're buying from. Why the deed of assignment comes after everything has been settled, the whole payment has been made, and it must be registered. Note that a sale of land agreement is not registrable at the land registry. It is only your deed of assignment that you take to the land registry to register it. Even though there's some shady practice going on, which I know a lawyer will never do that. I don't know, and I don't know how they go about it at the land registry to register a sale of land agreement. But a sale of land agreement cannot even be registered. It is not even permissible or allowed, because the deed of assignment, before it is even registered, you need to go through a process of stamping. You have to go through the process of governor's consent. And after the deed of assignment has been registered, you can use it to apply for your C of O. There's no way you can use a sale of agreement to do all this. So the sale of land agreement is more like the introductory document, like the first stage. of your whole the land transaction process, the whole land transaction. So it entails the terms and condition, all the negotiation you've had with the landowner, the price, the setting, the facilities, all whatever it is you've agreed with the landowner will be contained on your sale of land agreement, and also the way format of payments, like the term of payment, will also be contained in your sale of land agreement. However, your deed of assignment is a more detailed and more powerful document which sums up the whole transaction, and it is taken for governor's consent, it is stamped at the land registry, it is registered, and it is used in applying for your C of O. Have I answered your question? I hope so.
Yes, ma, you did. Thank you very
You're welcome.
I appreciate.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Good evening, ma.
Good evening.
Yeah, thank you for this insightful session. My question is just simple. I am asking in regards of the title, like compared to maybe rural areas. I want to believe we don't have those titles in the rural areas. And mostly, you find out that the buying and selling of land has to just do with just the sales agreement and nothing more like that. So is that how do I now try to generate all of these things if I'm probably buying a land in a rural area that does not have any of these titles listed?
Well, okay. Thank you for your question. So, like I said, of course, there are a lot of shady practice going on. In fact, some people do not even pay a lawyer. They'll just go to one corner and find one document and jam pack everything together and put sale of land agreement in the book, and they'll show you that they have a sale of land agreement and they will sign. More reason why a sale of land agreement is not a strong title to register at the land registry. So about your question of how do you go about getting this document even while buying properties from the rural sellers or rural area. Of course, even despite the fact that you're buying in the rural area, I don't know if we've talked about the fact that AMAC title is not a genuine title, even though it was genuine before. That's like a few years ago. But now, AMAC do not have capacity to issue out title anymore. Even those who have been issued AMAC title before, they've been asked to go for a certification of their title, as AMAC does not have the power to issue title anymore. So with regards to still the issue of transactions in the rural area that comprises of only sale of land agreement, of course, despite the fact that that is the norm there, that the fact that they're doing it, that does not mean it is right, and that does not mean you should do it that way. So even after getting a property from them that is having a sale of land agreement, you can take it upon yourself. Tell your lawyer to draft your sale of land agreement, draft your deed of assignment, go to the land registry, register it, trace the root of title. I'm sure the whole transaction that has been with sale of land agreement has not been registered with the land registry, which is a very, very risky thing, because from the record of the land registry, the only record they will have is the first person who might have been dead years ago. That's the record they have at the land registry as the owner of the title. So every other person who have been buying property and using sale of land agreement, their names are not on the record, and they are not even known as the owners of the title. So in case they want to sell to any person and the person wants to conduct it and then goes to the land registry and checks, you'll find out that the name of the person is not there. And it will look as if the title is not genuine while it is. So you can take it upon yourself, go to the land registry after drafting your sale of land agreement and your deed of assignment, register it at the land registry, and then apply for your own seal in your name. Though it will cost you money, but then it is best for you. It will save you a more higher risk of losing. It saves you, yes, it saves you more money and puts you at a less risk of losing higher money. I don't know if I've answered your question, Mr. Eddie.